everybody. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. My name is Bex. I'm the events coordinator here at Books Are Magic. We're so excited to have Loryn, Brantz, and Kaitlin Becker here with us to celebrate Poems of Parenting. Before we get started, I just have a few housekeeping notes to go over. We're going to be doing a hand-raised Q&A at the end of the night. If my lovely coworker could cut the music, please, that would be so wonderful. Thank you so much. We love Linda Ronstadt playing with this song. The vibe of the evening. Afterwards, Loryn will be setting and personalizing books. You already checked in. We'll let you know when and where to line up for that. If you're joining us virtually in the live stream, you can buy a copy of the book in the link in the description. We're all here tonight for Poems of Parenting. It's a must-have book for all parents. This illustrated collection of tender, funny, and radically honest poems about parenthood is the perfect companion for any parent's journey through the uncertain terrain of raising children in extraordinary times. So if you have babies, if you know people having babies, people are doing it all the time. We have books for you to purchase and give to them. Star of tonight's show, Loryn Brantz, is an author, artist, poet, and director. She's the creator of 2 best-selling board book series, Feminist Baby and It Had to Be You, and is also a 2-time Emmy Award winner for her work on Sesame Street. She is currently a consulting creative director for the children's education program, Ms. Rachel. Conversation extraordinaire Kaitlin Becker is an Emmy-nominated actor, singer, and writer. For the past 17 years, she has performed professionally in off-Broadway theaters, regional theaters, national tours, and kids' TV. Kaitlin is a mother to her 7-year-old Everett, and the two of them enjoy making up stories and songs. Without any further delay, please join me in the warmest welcome to Loryn and Kaitlin.
Thank you. Happy Loryn Brantz Day! Woo! Yes. So, like Max said, you are quite accomplished. You have written a lot of books for children. But this day is really special because this is Loryn's first book for parents. Correct?
It is.
Yeah. And I'm really interested to know the journey from poem number 1 to this book, because I'm sure all of you follow Loryn on social media, and if you don't, like, what are you doing? Get on that. You have given us the gift of these poems that you've been sharing every day on social media, and now we have an even cooler gift right here. You can hold it. It's a great gift. It's not a commercial, but like it kind of is, but it's a good gift for any parent that you know, because as a parent, you can relate to it and connect to it, and that's really important. So take us back to poem number 1.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Kaitlin.
Yes.
That was a really good commercial. They said it wasn't a commercial,
Anytime.
but it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Poem number 1. It was cool because I love when you have an idea and you really remember vividly when you had the idea. It wasn't just like, I think I had this idea at some point. It was like very, very vivid. My whole family had colds. We were all like super sick, and we were working too much. We were stretched really thin. We were at like a breaking point, and I had just gotten Ronan, my sweet baby, to bed after like a really hard time getting him to sleep. And I got into my bed, and I was like, oh. And then I started looking at pictures of him because why take a break? And I was like, oh, he's so cute. I love him so much. And I'm like, and we're all going to sleep now. And then I heard him crying, and I was like, oh, you shut your little baby face right now. And then I wrote that first poem right then, instead of going to get him to give him some time to go back to sleep. I was like, I'm going to write poems right now instead of dealing with this. He needed to go back to sleep. Anyways, I wrote like 50 more right then, and I just couldn't stop writing them. And
Wait,
then,
that night?
That night. Probably more like 40.
Loryn, but I thought it was like a poem a day. I lived my whole life like, wow, a daily poem. So you were just sharing daily.
Yeah. A lot of them were from the first night that I wrote them that ended up in the book, and I shared them like one by one.
The power of NyQuil.
Yeah. Wow. I had taken on NyQuil. So,
wow. I've been living a lie. I'm just processing that you wrote so many poems in one night. And had you written poems before?
I had, and like hadn't realized that I had. The books before this was Love Poems for Babies. So it literally had poems in the title. And for some reason, I didn't put that together that I was writing poetry still, even though I wrote that. I just always thought of poetry as this like very fancy thing that you need a degree. But that first night when I wrote them, I Googled like I had written a couple and I was like, what are the rules of poetry? What's the like grammar? And it said nothing. And I was like, this is like so punk rock. I love this. I hate grammar.
Yeah.
Like, let's go. I write whatever I want. And it was just the best feeling. And it felt like I was discovering it for myself, even though I had written poems, mostly for children. I wrote one for adults, and right after I wrote, I posted, and someone was like, "Can I put this on a T-shirt?" And it seemed like people really liked it, but I was like, "Oh, I don't write poems." But then it turns out I do write poems. I love writing poems.
I just saw the actor Natasha what's her last name? White Lotus. Natasha, Huh? Yeah. She just did a TED Talk. I think it was her. I could be wrong, but she was saying how you don't have to wait for someone to give you a title. So you're a poet, is what I'm saying. Like you wrote poetry, you're a poet. But I think a lot of us artists kind of wait for a job or a title to be like, congratulations, you are now an author. You know?
Yeah.
So that's really cool that you can add another something to your list of all the other amazing things that you do.
Thank you.
Talk to me about social media because you have a ton of followers. Do you feel any pressure to post every day? Do you feel any kind of pressure at all about the content that you put out?
I have, and it's something I actively am trying not to feel. You know, I worked at BuzzFeed however many moons ago, and there was like a lot of pressure to churn out content, feed the algorithm, and you know all these things about stats and numbers. And for this, once I started doing the poems, I was like, this is not for content. This is not for stats. This is like when I have a feeling in my heart for a poem and like want to share it. And I tried to stay really true to that. As the book, I knew the book was coming out, and like as an author, you have to promote your stuff. So I didn't want to just leave it blank, but luckily the poems just came like naturally, so I didn't really have to push that hard. But yeah, I try not to force the content, more about the art, and then sharing it when you can, when you want to.
Amazing. You have a healthy relationship with social media. Tell me more about that after. So how did it get to a book? Because when you wrote those 40 poems when your sweet little baby was not sleeping, were you like, and then I'm going to turn this into a book? Or was it just a release for yourself? Like, did you have an intention to share it, or was it just for yourself at the time?
I hadn't thought of a book, and I was sharing the poems, and then like by the second poem, a bunch of people were like, where's the book? When's the book? And I was like, you want a book from me? I'll give you a book. I love making books. So it was like a really exciting feeling. And then a couple poems out, my editor DM'd me. And I also remember this very clearly because I was like falling asleep and I saw the DM. I was like, oh, are you making a book? And I was like, I don't know, maybe. And then I like checked her profile, and it was, executive editor HarperCollins. And I was like, oh no. I fell asleep, and then, sent her to my agent and went from there. It happened really fast, which was exciting.
Wow. Yeah. Well, it's super exciting. And I know we're all excited to just like have it in our hands. Can I read? Do you want to read?
That's kind of nice. I like the idea of you reading.
First, do you want to read something?
Yeah, sure. I'll read.
No pressure.
I'll read something. Okay. I'll just open randomly.
Oh my gosh, so exciting.
Okay. This is called The Long Way Home. Let's take the long way home. Stop at everything. What's this? It's a store. What's that? It's a restaurant. Let's take the long way home. How do birds fly? With wings. What's his name? I don't know. That's a stranger. Does he have a dog? Does he like cats? Do you think he ever wears funny hats? It's going to take us a really long time to get anywhere. We're barely even there, but that's okay. Let's take the long way home.
Love it. And also so sweet that your kids will have this.
Yeah.
Like, isn't that so cool? When they are grown, they're going to be like, I inspired that one, actually. Do you want to read another one?
Oh, that's okay. Do you want to read one?
Okay.
Okay.
It's just us going back and forth
Yeah.
reading books for the rest of the night. No, you go. Okay, so I bookmarked one of my favorite ones called Motherhood. You'll love this. Okay, becoming a mother. I wouldn't change a thing. Every step of the way, every trial, every win, every space in between. But I wish someone had told me so I could have prepared just how much cleaning there is. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there other things that you wish you would have been prepared for? I mean, there's hundreds, I'm sure, before becoming a parent, but is there something that comes to mind?
Yeah, I mean, I think nothing can prepare you. And I've thought about this some because I read so many books, nothing can prepare you for the reality of being a parent. People can scream it in your face, but you are never going to be alone again. Your child is going to be on you all the time, and you just can't. You don't know till you know, and then you know. So I don't think anything could have prepared me. And I think specifically nothing could have prepared me about how you're never alone again. Like not only often physically, but like in your mind, in your heart, like your child is always like in the back of your mind, no matter what, after they come out. And that's a big change.
Yeah.
That's a big change.
It is. Your brain goes through a lot of rewiring.
Yeah.
Of just always thinking of that kid or kids in your life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not an author. Anywho, are there things that you do other than writing that can keep you to yourself so that you don't lose yourself? Like in the chaos of parenting, are there things that you will do so that you don't lose Loryn and you're not just mom?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of I went down a rabbit hole of self-help books, and I read like 100 in like the past I don't know how long, and I feel very helped. I recommend doing it.
You've recommended some of those books.
Yeah, yeah. I was like,
I feel
whoa.
helped.
Yeah, I don't even know how it got started. Like someone told me. Actually, no, I know how it got started. I just remembered. Someone I know said Judd Apatow recommended their friend The Untethered Soul. And I was like, well, if this book's good enough for him, I'm going to give it a shot. And I read it. And then there was like a list on my Kindle of books to read after. I was like, I'll read another. And next thing you know, and it got me really into meditation and mindfulness and just getting to that place within me where I'm observing versus being a part of, which is really helpful with kids. And especially if you have if your child's really dysregulated and like you need to find your inner peace during it, which can be really hard to do. So like kind of taking a step back and finding that inner peace and going there. So I try to go there like a lot, as much as I can. Yeah. I take walks too. That's big. I love taking walks.
That's really helpful. Yeah. I'm just, taking advice from you. This is good. Social media, healthy relationship, take walks, inner peace. Got it. Okay, so do you ever have moments when you're writing and your kids distract you? Like you're feeling really creative and you're in the flow and then a kid's like, Mom, and you're like, I gotta finish this one.
Yeah. All the time. Yeah. I mean, I can't get that much work done when they're home. When my daughter's at school and we have a nanny, I get my work done then. But when they're home, it's different. It's also that thing where they're always on your mind. Like, I can hear them. I'm not like fully, it's hard. I'd need to get like an office out of the house, I think. And even then, then I could focus. But yeah, they're really, and they hate when I do anything for myself. Like my daughter, like she can tell when I'm like doing something for myself, like on the phone with someone or even talking to my husband, and she like freaks out. She's like, you're not allowed to talk to anyone but me. Woo, girl. They need a lot.
We FaceTimed for like 30 seconds last night, and we were like, okay, we have 2 seconds before kids come in, and like sure enough, it was like, hello. Yeah. Like my son was like, who's that? Hello.
Yeah.
That's just how it is.
An apartment living too. It's not like they're in like the basement and the playroom. And they're like, no, they're right. We're all right here all the time.
We're all just right here. I want to go all the way back in time, if that's okay, to when you started writing. Were you a kid? Were you a teen?
Yeah, I was a kid. I've always loved to write. I wrote a story. I sent the story to Disney when I was like 6 years old. I was like, you should make this into a movie. It's about a fairy that gets caught and then the boy lets it go, like very basic. But yeah, I've always written and loved to tell stories and that sort of thing.
Wow. Do you think you'll write more for parents, for adults?
I'd like to. I have ideas for more of these and some other adult poetry collections.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Please do it. Do we want to take questions from the audience? You said, yeah, sure. I'm probably early. I don't have a clock in my brain right now.
You're a little early, but
I'll keep talking if you want me to.
you're welcome to keep talking.
What's your favorite thing about being in New York, Mom?
That's a great question, Kaitlin.
Thank you. I just thought of it.
Oh wow. I love New York City. I'm like, in what's that movie, Avatar, where they like loop their tails into the trees? That's how I feel with New York. I'm like, I'm just like one.
That's another poem for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I love it here, and I love that I get to raise my kids here. I wanted to grow up here, and I think I do. So I'm like, look at this, and they're, they take it for granted because they're growing up here. So that's kind of.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Virginia.
Okay.
In the suburbs.
Very different. Than
Yeah, it's very
city.
different. But we would visit here a lot because my mom's from here. And I kept a bottle of New York City air in my room. And I was just like, that's where I'm going. That's where I want to be. It's from Penn Station. In retrospect, it's like disgusting. Why did I want that air?
Disgusting. I love it. Well, I'm proud of you for following your dreams.
Thank you.
You did it. You did. That's a big deal to move to this crazy city.
Crazy.
Did you have a favorite book or series when you were a kid?
Yeah, I had a lot of favorite books. And one thing I love about children's books is like your favorite books typically aren't like the most popular books that ever happen, and like just to you, they're that special. And then when I make children's books, I'm like, oh, this is like somebody's favorite, which is so nice. And one of my most favorite was Tooth Fairy by Audrey Wood.
I don't
know
know
if I want to read it. Oh, you do? It's so good, right? It's so weird. There's a kingdom made of teeth, which when I was a kid, I didn't think it was weird at all. It's like the Tooth Fairy takes your teeth and then it becomes part of the Tooth Fairy palace. In the book, it's adorable. And I used to remember like loving, she drew every tooth. Like each one, I'd be like, wow, look at all these little teeth. I don't know. And it's still a really fun book. But that was definitely my favorite. I got that. And my husband, his favorite was The Boy with Square Eyes, which I'd never heard of.
What is that?
And it's also really good, and I recommend it.
Okay.
He watches too much TV and his eyes turn into squares.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting. Okay, TV square teeth.
Yeah.
Really? Wow, you two are cool.
What's your favorite?
It depends on what year. I was just thinking about the Fear Street series recently because I was talking to someone about scary books when you were kids. Did you guys read Fear Street or like Goosebumps? I can't. I probably couldn't read that now. Like I get more scared the older I get.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later too.
Okay.
Have you always been an artist?
Yes.
Yeah, because the illustrations, I don't know if you've seen the illustrations in the book. They're so good and so like they really go hand in hand with the poems. I love them so much. And so is that just something you've always done?
It is, and at the detriment of other things, I think. I feel like something I like to tell. I don't know if anyone has kids with disabilities and special interests. My like special interest is drawing, and so I was really good at, and I'm excelled at it, but was like very bad at everything else, and like also wouldn't do it. It's like, don't even talk to me about math. Like, don't even look at me.
No, that's
math
rude.
teacher.
Math
like,
is so
no,
dumb.
it's not even having.
Yeah.
And so there's always art, and my parents were always really supportive and like just fostered what I was interested in, and led to a career in it, which is great.
Yeah. That's amazing. You're an artist, an author, creator, builder, mother. Come on, girl. Oh. Okay. I mean, you're not.
No.
Well, I hope that you feel the love in this room tonight and that you feel really proud of yourself, because I'm proud of you and you really created something really wonderful for so many of us. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. No, thank you.
No, thank you.
Now we can take some questions from the audience if there are any. Yes, you in the back.
You talked about how when you started, you wrote that first poem and you kind of like Googled, are there rules for poems? But what made you like break into that style of poetry? Because I have to confess that upon reading your own poems, I started writing to also like in my first couple of months of motherhood, and I found myself very drawn to your style. So I'm just kind of curious about where you take inspiration from that style of poetry.
So where do you get your inspiration for the style that you use, your style of poetry?
That's amazing. You're writing poetry, and I have no idea. No idea. I'm just total.
It just spilled out of you?
Yeah, it just spills. Is what it is.
Wow. Yeah. That's amazing. Wow. You had a question? Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit of the story, if you're comfortable, about nabbing the air from New York? Like, was this something that you did surreptitiously? Did your parents know you were doing it?
I think I got the idea from a Doug episode where like his friend was international and he had a bottle of air from wherever he was from. And so I brought a bottle I remember Penn Station. I was like, and I put it in and
scooping up
scoop it up.
Penn Station air.
Yeah, brought it home, and of course, like a little friend came over and like was like, "What's this?" And I was like, "My air!"
Oh my God. I love that. Now I want to go around and like collect air from all over the world. I'm just learning so much. Anyone else have a question? Yeah.
Yeah, I love your artwork, and like it goes so well with the poetry. Is there one that comes first, or do you have an idea when you're writing? And second question, are you going to like make more? Like, I pre-ordered your book, so I have one of the framed pieces, like in our they were signed pieces, and we framed it in our bedroom. So I didn't know if you're going to do more and have like more art options too.
I'm going to repeat for the live stream. So basically, what comes first, the illustrations or the poem, or do they go hand in hand? Or
Usually the words come first, I think, and then the pictures, and then they kind of then I see how it's looking, and they like change as it comes together. But sometimes for children's books, I start with like a character design, so it's more visual first, and then I meet. I'm like, oh, nice to meet you. What do you want to do? But with the poems, it's been more words first. And you need to say the question about the prints.
What was the question? Can you repeat it? Sorry.
Are you going to have more prints or more opportunities to buy your artwork?
Oh, are you going to have more prints or opportunities
Yes.
to buy your artwork?
Yes. Thank you. I'm planning on making a print shop. I just need to figure out how.
Yes, do it.
Yeah, thanks, Loryn. As an artist and creator, you obviously draw inspiration from being a mother. Where else do you draw inspiration from?
I think really it goes back to like the mindfulness and sort of this life, like trying to be present, and then almost anything is inspiring, Like you're taking a walk and you're really there. You're like, look at these fucking trees. They are so beautiful. Like you really feel like you're like on drugs if you're present enough.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Do you let the writing find you, or do you ever sit down like, I want to write right now?
I let it find me, and I can tell the difference when it's the other way around, and I feel like people can tell the difference too. And every now I've done books where like especially like sequels to the board books that I like kind of had. I'm like I'm gonna do a sequel because I said I was gonna do a sequel, and like I kind of had to push them out, which it never goes as well as when they like come first. But,
so you wanted to do the sequel, or was it the publisher saying like, hey, you should do a sequel to this book?
Yeah, I mean, like it was like grateful to have more books, but I didn't, if I don't have like the idea necessarily first, sometimes it's a little tricky.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, but I like the third one, depending.
Any other questions?
Do you have any photos of your kids in your personal collection?
where if we put it side by side with a page in the book, you've almost done an illustration of a real moment that happened that so perfectly fitted some of the words.
Yes, have you illustrated real moments of your life in this book?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I mean, Ronan, a lot of the baby is my 2-year-old. I mean, I just recently did one about kissing his little head, and it's just like it's basically a drawing of him.
His head.
And you know, like I said, how my daughter's like very intense on being center of attention. She loves to like take pictures that are obviously him and be like, "That's me, right? Right, Mom? That's me." And I'm like,
she's a spicy little nugget.
I'm like, "That is you."
Oh my gosh.
She is a spicy nugget.
Yeah, is that all her, the spicy nugget?
Oh
section
yeah,
of the
she's a
book?
spicy little nugget.
I
for
love
sure.
that description, the spicy nugget. Thank you. Any other questions? Yeah.
What's your favorite poem in the book?
Oh.
My favorite poem in the book, I think, is Monitor. It's about giving up the monitor. So it's really hard. My daughter, especially. It's not like, so it's like she's high risk for seizures, and especially in your sleep with she has Soto syndrome. And so I'm like, when am I not going to be checking on her in the middle of the night? I don't know. And I will be. So.
Yeah, it's like the I Love You Forever book.
Yeah.
Which is like, kind of feels creepy, but kind of feels right.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
I might break into your home. And you're going to have to be cool with it.
Yeah.
You'll be sleeping. You won't even know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Do you sleep?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Not sure.
I mean,
I love it.
This
I
is
do.
good for you to stay
Yeah.
up and keep writing these poems for us.
Yeah.
So we thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, my kids get up early.
Aw.
They're early risers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other questions for Miss Loryn? Yes, madame.
Yes, thank you. Love your social media. Thank you for all of the things you put out in the world. I'm really excited to gift this book to some of my friends and siblings who have just had kids. When you are in the position to like gift a book, besides your own books, what books do you gift?
Ooh, what books
That's a
do
good
you
question.
gift, if not your own?
Well, I'm always trying to force my self-help books on everyone around me. I don't know if it's a gift, but I'm like, you got to read this. My husband. But for like gift for baby books, you know, I'm trying to think. I haven't been to a baby shower in a long time. And I always bring my own books because and I write.
I mean,
in it.
why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I try to give classics, books that I liked when I was little, that they may not have yet. I've gifted the Tooth Fairy book. And when Little Rabbit loses a tooth, I don't know why there's like a teeth theme. Must have been a thing when I was a kid.
What? Maybe you were a dentist in a past life.
Maybe,
or something.
probably.
Yeah. Probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
That adds up.
What are your kids reading right now? What do you read to them?
What are we reading the most right now? Gosh, they love to read. My son loves Jamberry.
I
read
don't know that.
Oh,
Everyone's
really
nodding.
good.
Tell me about it.
It's really
What is
good.
Jamberry?
How's it go, Jake? Jamberry, two berry, berry, 3 berry, 4. We read it.
Sounds like a classic.
And my daughter's really into Poppleton, this like pig. It's really cute. Really cute books, yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow. Thank you for all these book recommendations. Self-help, teeth,
Yeah.
square eyes.
Square eyes, yeah.
Any other questions? Yep.
If you read your own books to your kids, like your board books, do they know that you wrote it?
You know, it's funny because Feminist Baby came out when my daughter was really little, and I think she could tell I was like way too excited about it because she hated it. But she would be like, she was not into it. She like would like kind of be like, nah, this book, because I'd be like, do you like it? Like, but my son really likes Feminist Baby, and because I didn't even, you know, it was just in this room and he found it. I wasn't like trying to see how he thought about it, and he likes the It Had to Be You series a lot. And my daughter was much older when those came out, but that's one of those ones where she's like, "That's me, right?" I'm like, "Yes."
So she
That's
understands
Yeah.
that you've written these books.
Yeah, a lot of them say to her, and
Yeah.
then like Dahlia.
That's so special. Any other questions? No? That's okay. I don't either.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
No, thank you. And congratulations again. Let's give it up for Loryn for Poems of Parenting.
Thank you. Thank you all so much for coming out tonight. Thank you to Loryn and Kaitlin for joining us. If you're still with us on the live stream, you can buy a link. You can buy a book from the link in the description. I never say it right. If you're with us here, you can buy a book at the front. I will say we have some limited copies. Because we had over almost like 250 pre-orders that ended up taking a lot of our event stock. So I would suggest moving very quickly to buy those. Otherwise, not in this moment, but we'll have you line up down the center aisle because Loryn is going to be signing where my lovely coworker is now pointing, which is where you checked in the back. There's a little alcove. And we pick up the chairs pretty quickly, so we'd love for you to grab your belongings. And thank you so much for joining us and have a great night.
Thank you.
Thank you.